everyone, I'm Nancy Ichirezindekwe. I work at the Bridge Career Services as the Head of Recruitment and Career Advising. And today we are joined with Simon Sondern, the CEO and Managing Director of Vibe House. He is here today to take us through investments, with real estate and everything that has to do with, houses and homes in Rwanda. And who else than the expert himself? So Simon, thank you so much for having the Bridge on this show that you normally do on YouTube.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about my favorite topic, which is real estate in Rwanda. We are an agency. We deal with property sales, property rentals, property management, so basically end-to-end solutions. And we discussed a bit about diaspora investment in the market. And as you may know, the investment market in Kigali for real estate is booming at the moment. There's a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of demand. There's a lot of transactions. So very exciting times. And diaspora is, of course, one of the key players in this. So you came up with a few questions from your community, and we'll go through this house or this apartment and answer your questions.
Yes. And of course, for those of you wondering, where are we, what's happening? We are currently in Rwanda, Kigali. This neighborhood is called Nyarutarama. For those of you who are very familiar with the geography here in Kigali, you might have an idea of where we are. And of course, we're going to show you the views and the apartment. It's beautiful. And I'm already really, really excited and trying to figure out where do I get money to invest in something like this. But otherwise, before we even answer the questions, we'd let Simon take us through this apartment and walk through, and then we can answer questions from there.
So this apartment is a 4-bedroom unit at Elisabeth Gold Apartments, a brand new development, right between basically on the Woodlands Road, between MTN Center and Woodlands, for those of you know, close to Choma, Mr. Chips. For those of you who don't really know of Kigali, the dome that everyone knows of Kigali is about...
The convention center?
Yeah, exactly. The convention center is about 4 minutes by car away, so very centrally. It's a big development. We have 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom units for sale here. And this is the 4-bedroom penthouse on the top floor, double story, super nice. You can see this big glass wall over there. So... yeah, that is the tour. Not the tour, that is the beginning of the tour. That's the intro.
And of course, as you can see, we're currently standing in the kitchen, dining room, and living room area. And of course, the finishings, I hope you can see it, but the finishings are beautiful. The developer, one thing that we do know, the developer has all these furnitures at hand, so in case you'd like to buy them from them. They're actually opening a showroom, correct?
It's coming up, it's under construction as well. So if you like just the furniture, if you don't, for example, want to spend all the money on buying a penthouse, you can buy that exact same furniture. Right now there's a MIC building in town, there is a shop. There's one coming up here. They have a big shop in the free trade zone, so if you're into furniture, that's a good place to be.
Okay. Yeah, and so as you can see, it's already fully furnished. You have the fridge, sink, obviously kitchen, stove, and this is really quite big compared to most apartments in Kigali. It's very well equipped, and I'm sure some of you will be wondering, why is there a washing machine in the kitchen? Do you want to give us a little update on that and why there's a washing machine in the kitchen?
To be honest, I'm happy to. To be honest, I have not asked the developer, so this is just my assumptions now. But I think it just makes a lot of sense. From a construction point of view, it makes sense because you have plumbing lines here and power. From a space layout kind of point of view, it also makes sense because you have plenty of cabinet space, so it's very easy to put it here. Because you see most of the houses, it's somewhere in the bathroom or somewhere outside. Outside is difficult in apartments. Bathrooms, it's just this alien somewhere, so it just fits in super nicely.
And it looks really, really good. And I think most homes in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, let us know in the description box below. But in the UK, I think most of the washing machines are in the kitchen. In the US, though, they have a separate room for that because, if I'm not mistaken, again, please let us know and comment. But I think it's a good idea, especially for apartments, to be able to have that here.
I agree. And what's also very nice and very much US style is this massive fridge freezer.
I agree. You have a lot of space to host, especially
all your vegetables and the healthy food that you want to eat.
So before we see the rest of the house, we'll answer a couple of questions that we got from you guys, and we're going to do a little sit down to be able to answer those and just go more into the video afterwards. You guys asked us a couple of questions that I have right here, and so we're going to be asking that to Simon today, because most of you have questions about real estate. How do you get into the market, especially here in Rwanda? And of course, we deal with a lot of youth and people wanting to invest. So we took this opportunity to put together all the questions that you've asked us and also just address real estate investment here in Kigali, or Rwanda at large. So maybe we'll just go ahead and start with the first questions that we've received. And the first one is, how can a young millennial break into the real estate market?
Okay, so one thing that we just have to say at the very beginning, right? Real estate is always big money playing. There's very limited ways how you currently can invest, at least in Rwanda. If you, let's say, have $500, there's not that much you can do with it. There's a few things that we can discuss about, but in general, the first thing what you should do is when you break in or try to break into the real estate market is try to learn as much about it as possible, because there's a lot of people out there that tell you a lot of different things. Many of them have their own agendas, so take everything with a bit of caution. If someone says there's this super good neighborhood and there's a very cheap place, ask yourself why it is cheap, because if it's very good, then there's normally a high demand for that. So I think to really break into the market is familiarize yourself, identify different opportunities, and see what your budget is. And most importantly, create a budget. Know exactly how much you can spend, or speak to your bank, see what kind of loan you can get, because otherwise you're just wasting your own time looking at things. I mean, if you just want to see nice apartments, that's understandable, but if you're really actively looking, crunch the numbers before.
Mm-hmm. And so pretty much what I'm hearing you say is that, one, you need a budget, do your research, because markets are different. The same way you'd be looking into home renting, buying in Kigali would be very different from Musanze or Rubavu or wherever it is in the country in itself. So make sure you do your research before you even come into that space. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And then easy ways to break in. Let's say you have family here and they have a house with a nice annex. An easy way to break into the market is, for example, to renovate this annex and make it nice. Put vinyl flooring on the floor, renovate the bathroom, put nice furniture in there. That will not be too expensive, and then you can find a tenant for that, and you can actually make a decent margin. But just make sure you agree with the owner of the property exactly how the split of that is going to be. So, but that's an easy way to get in.
Okay. Thank you. I think the second question is regarding house hacking and investment in rental property. So for example, if you want to rent a 5-bedroom, how would you do that, especially for Airbnb? How does that work in Rwanda? So would it be possible, let's say if you buy a house and you live in one room, would it be possible to rent out all the others? Or is there a law? Is there something against or for this in Kigali or Rwanda?
No, in general, there's nothing against it. If it reaches a commercial basis, there will be, of course, tax implications for that. But in general, it's a concept of at least reducing your own rental amount for a lot, or you just house share as well. That's an option as well.
That is true. Actually, I think we know a lot of people who will rent out a whole house and then they share the costs within. Yeah, that's something that's very popular, especially here. I think maybe one of the things, especially coming from you, you're the specialist in this. House, home building or home buying? If we were to rate these, what would be your advice, especially for youth and diaspora wanting to come back, or even youth in Kigali in general, or Rwanda,
Yeah.
or the
No,
continent
it's
as well?
it's a very, very good question, and it's a very, very difficult one to answer. Mainly because it's this answer that everyone hates. It depends, but it actually does depend. The advantage of buying an existing house and then touching it up a bit is it's not a lot of work compared to buying, and you can manage your risk much better. The disadvantage of it is you never know how this property has been built. How good is the substance? How good are the pipes in the walls? How good is the wiring and all these kind of things? So there are of course standards in the market, but you kind of buy this box and you don't really know to the full extent what's in it. So if you buy something, look at it very, very carefully first. Building on the other hand is a lot of work. It's practically not feasible, to be honest, if you're not here, unless you have relatives here or somewhere that can manage the site for you. But you need to know the good companies, you need to go to good plumbers, you need to know where to find the right kind of tiles, you need to find the right kind of appliances, all these kind of things.
Furniture.
There's so many different aspects that you have to take care of. There is some very good companies that build also according to what you want them to build. So that is the way forward.
Okay.
So it's very hard. It really depends on your personal circumstances.
Yeah. And I also think it depends on the pocket. That is,
well, yes.
Because if you have money to buy and renovate, you could do that.
Yeah.
Or if you have money to just build, which also involves land.
Cool.
Actually, that segues into the next question, because for most African cultures, we buy land, right? That's something that you are told. If you have money, you save and you buy land. I know that that's something that I have heard from family members, from friends. Most people have land, especially here in Rwanda. Well, not most, but the majority of people have land. And so with that, we've been talking about apartments, home, buying, but what is your opinion on land? That's one. Like, if we were to start acquiring to buy land or plot of land, how is that looking like? And then also, what are some of the areas right now that are on the market that we should start looking out for?
So land has one particularity compared to when you buy an existing building, an existing house, an existing apartment. Typically, you have two income streams. One is the rent, and the other one is the appreciation of the building. So if you buy an apartment now and the demand goes up, in 5 years it will be worth more if you sell it then. So you have these two things. For land, you typically only have the appreciation part, unless you have something that you, for example, lease out to a cattle farmer or to something, but it will very rarely give you the kind of monthly return that an existing building would generate in rent. That being said, the appreciation is very good in many cases, and it's also lower upfront cost. There are some regulations that apply to that, and you need to look at that carefully before, because land speculation is being a bit regulated in Kigali, given that we have limited space here. You asked me about the good areas at the moment. I think where we've seen a huge increase in demand over the last 2, 3, 4 years is, for example, Kiminya. Everyone says it's the next Kibagabaga. I agree. It's really coming along. There's a lot of construction going on there. Ribeiro, I think, was the big shooting star over the last years, because it's for those of you who don't know it, it's on top of the hill, top of Mount Ribeiro. You overlook all of Kigali. It's like basically like the Beverly Hills of Kigali. It's stunningly beautiful. But in general, given how rapidly Rwanda is growing and this whole economic success story that we're kind of in the middle of, it's there are almost no areas that I would not recommend you to buy, because I think in 5 years from now, everyone that or every place that we think is expensive right now, in 5 years that we look back on it and says, "Oh, we should have bought when it's still at that price."
So if I'm hearing you correctly, is if you know of a piece of land that is for sale anywhere, get it. So that doesn't necessarily
not. I don't want to give like this blank advice. It's very, very important is to check the zoning, because everything in Kigali, every single plot has a zoning, or is part of a zone, and that is commercial zone, residential, industrial, agricultural, and each of these zones have different regulations what you can build there. The good thing is it's very easy to find out. Each plot has a UPI, a unique parcel identifier, that you can just, if you go on, if you just type in Google Kigali master plan on Google, it will bring you to a kind of Google Maps like looking thing, and you put in the UPI, it shows you the plot, it shows you the zoning, it shows you the size, and there is an overview of what you can build. So it tells you exactly how many floors, floor area ratio, can you build houses, can you build apartments, can you build offices, can you have bars, can you have sports clubs. It is incredibly detailed. Mm-hmm. So before you buy, make sure that whatever you want to do on that plot is actually allowed.
On the master plan, yeah. And I think that also goes with the research that we were talking about. Before you even consider, let's say, buying land in Kichukir, or wanting to build, just make sure to go on there and figure out, is that an R1? So R is for residence. Is it 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 floors? Because it has those specifications, as Simon mentioned. So I guess research is
research. But if I may use this opportunity for some shameless self-advertising, that's what you have real estate agencies for. Mm-hmm. The professional real estate agencies will tell you those things. Mm-hmm. So when we have clients, we sit down with them, we discuss exactly what do you want to do with this plot. And then based on that, we select or pre-select the plots and advise you on it. And we'll also tell you, look, this plot that you want to buy is not good for you. Mm-hmm. I think the most important thing that a real estate agent can do is tell you what not to buy, not what to buy. What to buy is relatively easy. Mm-hmm. What not to buy is the key part, and that may save you a lot of money in the long run. People are sometimes put off by the fees that real estate agents charge. Mm-hmm. But if you look at it in the greater scheme of things, it can save you a lot of money, and it saves you a lot of headache, and they do the work for you basically.
Yeah. And I think that's good. Well, that's one of the reasons why we reached out to Vibe House, because they tend to do this. And if you guys can tell from their YouTube channels, they do walkthroughs through some of these apartments, homes. So if you're far away, then it makes sense for you to look at these apartments. And that's why we reached out to them, not only because they do this, but then they also understand the market, going from apartments to homes to land to development, so developing buildings and all that. So that's why we reached out to Vibe House to be able to do this. One of the last questions that I
was just thinking, since you mentioned house too, we can also show this, because we have another seating area.
Oh,
the next questions are on the second floor. Next questions
will happen upstairs.
Let's start with the ground floor. I don't think you call it ground floor because we're actually on the 5th floor, but it's a 2-story penthouse as they come. After you, this is our first bedroom, and
I love the view, the decoration, and especially the fact that it has a, what do we call this?
Nook.
A nook. You can read, work from here. And of course, as I was mentioning earlier, I don't know if you can see the view, but you have the main Nyarutarama Road. MTN Center is right over there. And you have the golf course. You can see Vision City. So it's a really good view, but I love this idea of having this. Does it have?
We actually have that in every single room.
Oh wow!
Every single bedroom. Otherwise, there's a bed that will come eventually with a mattress, As I mentioned, it's still a construction site, so this is a sample apartment. Sample apartments sometimes are not fully furnished, but I think you get the view. You can see it's clearly made for two people, or
A bed,
one spacious
closet,
and you have
cupboard.
beautiful lights.
Lights,
Yeah, it's
Are
quite
they
unique.
spotlights?
They're spotlights.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Indeed. And then this bedroom has a bathroom over here.
Okay.
After you all stay outside.
That's a fancy toilet.
That is, in fact, the fanciest toilet I have ever seen. It is completely radio controlled. So you have a remote control, in this case the panel on the wall. We have some B-roll of how it works from another apartment, so we'll show you that here. To open and close, you have these buttons that are mounted on the wall. You just press them, and it will close. Then you press again, and it will open. So you have different things. It apparently it can wash you, it can dry you, and you can regulate the temperature. This button down here is for flushing. So if I press here, you'll see the toilet flushes.
This is a really, I love the finishing of the marbles, the black. It looks really, really nice. Just looking at this. And of course, I'm guessing since this is on the ground floor, this would be for the guests.
This would be for guests typically, yes, or if you have a bigger family.
Another bathroom.
And then this is the main.
This is beautiful and a lot bigger as well.
A lot bigger. And
I love the decoration. Okay, let's turn this to Rwanda. This is where we are.
Right there. And this is also even more bright. I mean, in general, this place is super bright, as you can tell, right? Because you have these massive windows, and this one even has that on the side. So you can open this window here and go straight to the golf course. Have a look at that.
Indeed.
So
Wow.
super nice. Really, really
It's
pretty.
beautiful.
It's closed. Otherwise we'll forget it to close it
Okay.
later. But yeah, massive main bedroom.
And I love that it comes furnished, so it can give you an idea of how to utilize the space. Because even though everything is in here, there's still a lot of space, you know?
Yeah, it's really very nice. And it has an ensuite bathroom.
Bathroom as well.
Similar layout as the other one. Following the same style, the same fancy radio control toilet.
And very nice shower head. It looks really nice actually. It looks really, really good. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing
And
it
it's
upstairs.
the details. Look, if you, for example, if you are investing in a property, right? You don't want to, when you live abroad, you don't want the headache of dealing with it. These ones, they have a management company, so they'll take care of the operations. But you also don't want to deal with structural defects. And one of the things is humidity. Humidity is always an issue in bathrooms. And despite the fact that we have a big window here that will definitely ventilate the whole place, we have a huge extraction fan. So you will not have issues like you have in other places where after 3, 4, or even 2 years it starts getting moldy and then you have to do renovation. That's what I say. Like, if you invest in real estate, do it properly.
Do it right.
Don't take shortcuts.
Absolutely.
You're gonna regret it. It's gonna be more expensive in the end.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. So that's the
Looks really nice.
ground floor. I could very much picture myself living in here.
Maybe you should move in, and then from there we can come visit, and then you can show us what you did with the space.
Exactly. Let me speak to the developer to see what he thinks of the
Yeah,
idea.
do they give a free apartments?
No, unfortunately that is not part of their service offering. But yeah, we talked extensively about the kitchen. A quick thing here before we go up this. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
Just look
Beautiful.
out.
The details, the lights, the glass, everything is really done well. Even to the detail with the curtains, you know,
And
most
the
people
curtains
would
are,
have.
if I remember correctly, they are radio control. They are electric.
Really?
Yeah, see there's a motor there. Yeah. Because otherwise you will never be able to close them because it's so, I mean this is, I'd say 6 meters minimum.
Wow. Now I was going to say on an interior design approach, some people will have their curtains midway, you know, like it has, I love that because of the stairs I can seem taller, but you can have the curtains on this side, but normally the curtains are supposed to be higher. So the fact that this is something that they put into consideration is really, really good. And of course, the view I was talking about.
Before we talk about it, see how smooth this is. I mean, if you're watching this from the US, you'd be not so impressed. But at my house, for example, it's squeaking. And so
you put oil. Amafuta, that's what we call it in Kinyarwanda. But this is a beautiful balcony. And actually spacious. You can come eat from out here. You have the whole view. Actually, I didn't realize that you can see downtown from here.
In the distance.
Yeah, and of course there's still construction happening, but by the time people are buying and moving in, you have all the beautiful views. So it goes all the way from the golf course to downtown, to the rest of Nyarutarama, Kachiru, Kimisagara, then you go to Vision City, Gachuriro. Pretty much, if you're standing, isn't that Kinyinya?
Kinyinya is in the distance there, you can see there's Kibagawaga.
Yeah.
Wow. There's Pilipili over there. So.
No, this is amazing.
It's a fantastic location. Let's go upstairs. Okay. So, are you ready for floor number 2?
Yes, let's do
Ready
this.
for living area number 2.
I love the wood and the glass, it looks really good. And safe as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously if you have toddlers, this is...
Well, the only issue is in every house there's stairs, but here, this is actually safer than anything else because there's no gaps, it's just glass.
And of course, you guys, if you have any questions, please make sure to add them to the description box or reach out to us. We can, reach out to Simon, if that even means having a Zoom call or a live, whatever it is, to answer those specific questions that come from this video. We can go ahead and do that as well. But I just wanted to ask you, especially when it comes to land titles, transference, how does that work? Is it hard? Do you help with that?
For anything that we work with, we are there from the beginning to you moving in. So we are there throughout the service, and that's kind of the service that you really provide as an agency. It's not that many people see that wrong. Our job is not only to show you this is the house you can buy. That is very straightforward. Our job is to guide you through the process. Like, tell you the good things, also tell you the bad things, of course, as we talked when we were downstairs, but also to have someone by your side who will guide you through that. The good thing is in Rwanda, we have fantastic processes in place. It's not like in other places where we also work, where there's land title disputes all the time. It takes forever. So here it's a very straightforward process. You have your sales contract, you have the land title of the seller, the plot that you're about to buy, and or the apartment. And with that you go to the Murenge and you fill out a few forms and give passport copies and so on. But then it is transferred in your name within a few weeks, days, 2 weeks to 4 weeks. So it's super fast. Even if you compare it to international levels, it's the fastest I've seen. So, and then everything, the whole system will be updated, and it is really nothing at all to worry about. Okay. The land title transfer is the easiest part of it.
Okay. Well, I hope that was very helpful for you guys. Obviously, we're not done because we have to look at the rest of the apartment. But of course, I think we've mostly touched on buying homes, renting, Airbnb, plots/land. How does that look like? Where can you buy them? And then obviously, transferring, the papers or land titles and all that goes with that. And I think it's really good just to have an idea, especially when you're not living in, Rwanda or on the continent, just being able to have someone deal with all these things as you tell them exactly what you're looking for. But of course, remember that research and location. Correct?
That is the global #1 rule for real estate.
Real estate, exactly. I know that you also work in Kenya. Is there any other places?
A little bit of
work?
Kenya, but our focus is clearly on Rwanda.
Is Rwanda. Okay.
So, but we have partner companies in the other countries that we work with. So, feel free to reach out. We're happy to connect you.
Okay, great. Do you want to take us around the rest of
The final two
apartment?
rooms.
Yes.
Let's do that. But before we go to the final two rooms, let's talk about this living area.
Did you feel how comfortable the couch was? I actually
really
just
like
wanted to sit back and.
For a moment, I regret that we
enjoy.
didn't do the entire interview.
Actually, yeah, we should have done.
I mean, not that this is uncomfortable; it's actually super comfortable as well. But I think with this L shape, no, this is not on our channel. That's on your channel. If you switch over to our channel and watch our videos, you know that I love L-shaped couches, and I think for this interview setup, it's actually fantastic.
For the views. But you also have a window that looks at the view from across. The view was showing you down there, but this is more. You have more of the rest of the development happening. You can add a TV, correct?
Yes, this is for TV. This is for internet. It's an entirely separate area.
The same view but higher.
Same view, but even higher. This time with a mattress.
Yes.
So.
I think I would live here. Literally just sitting here with a book, and I don't know. When people say we outside, I think I'd be we inside / outside as well. But just looking at the lake, it looks.
I'm happy to discuss the contract details after this.
I think we should. I think we should have a look at that and see how that would work.
Yeah, but other than that, it's a similar room to downstairs.
Yes.
It's super comfortable. Also, what I like is this is wooden.
Floor.
It's not actually wood; it's tile, so it's much more easy to maintain.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you can hear it.
It looks like.
It looks like wood, and then it makes it more cozy for the living room. Outside here, you have this beautiful stone, which makes it more elegant. Really.
I agree.
Less rustic. And then in the bathroom, you have visual separation as well with this great house, which is this decade's trend for bathroom.
Yes.
So again, the extraction fan that you remote
and
controls.
the fancy toilet. I heard you can heat the seat before you sit.
You can, and you can even control the temperature.
Wow. And of course, this is the biggest room so far.
To be completely honest, I think it's exactly the same size as downstairs.
Okay, why does it feel bigger?
I think it's probably because we're even higher up, so there's more light coming in, there's less of the trees covering it. I would have to look into the plans to tell you exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's the same size.
Wow. No, this is really, really good.
Very decent.
And of course, we're going to be sharing all the specs for this apartment. There's another one, a 2-bedroom, correct?
There's a 2-bedroom, and there's plenty. This development, same developer but different locations, slightly different layouts. We have all of this on our website, so get that. We'll share the link with
absolutely.
you guys as well, and
Okay. So I think that's it, pretty much, right? I don't know how you normally do the walkthroughs, but is there an outro?
Very similar. There is no real outro. I think that the outro can just be that I want to say that I really enjoyed this. I hope it was insightful for you. Maybe some of you got interested in learning more about it. I'm personally very happy to do this again, to show different places, to answer any other questions that may come in. Yeah, as you said, we can do YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Clubhouse,
all these platforms.
anything live, Zoom calls. I'm always happy to.
And thank you so much for Simon and his crew to be able to accommodate us. Of course, we're going to add all the information below. Make sure to comment and subscribe and just let us know what you thought, what you want to see, especially when it comes to the real estate realm. And then we could always follow up with Vibe House. And I really enjoyed this. All my creative juices are like, oh, we could add this. And I love the fact that with these homes, you're able to change it up, pick the furniture, do whatever it is that you want, correct? Does that go as well with the materials or just
the structure
the furniture?
is pretty much the same.
Okay.
There's some, but if you really want to have a creative vibe, there's beautiful older houses. Yesterday I visited one. It's a great business. The property had a tenant for $800 before the renovation. After the renovation, $1,700.
Wow,
Per month.
that's a jump.
That's more than double.
Yeah, that's more than double. Okay, guys, so I think we're hearing what we need to do. But of course, it's always important to have the information as well. So once again, Simon, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
This was new and exciting. I don't know if I'd want to do more, but for today, I had a really, really good time.
I'm happy to hear that. Me too.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you.